I am making a rather different video. Today is going to be a rant. And that rant is on tanks in Smite. And not all tanks. A specific type of tank. A hybrid that in the current meta may be one of the, not maybe, is one of the best. And that is Warriors. Warriors are stupidly good right now. They perform very well in the current situation. And that is because it kills me to even say it. That's because they have the ability to be highly defensive and at the same time do noticeable damage. At the moment in Smite, Warriors are doing very, very well. A lot better than they should be. I just don't see the logic that the balancing team at high res has behind allowing not just one character, a specific entire class of character to be both defensive and offensive at the same time. And the reason that I think they are very overly broken is they are successful in 3 roles in Smite right now. Not 1, where they should be, not 2, 3. 3 of the best junglers in the game right now are Warriors. Those being Ravana, Odin, and Osiris. Very high pick ban, right? And in the pro scene, they have continued to succeed for a noticeable amount of time that should not be allowed to happen. And it's not the items that's the problem. It's the characters. Golden Bow is a good example of this. Golden Bow was taken out a while ago, but that's because ADCs abused the item. And upon its removal, it hurt Mercury, an assassin, not an ADC, more than intended, and ADCs just rose back to the normal spot. I think with Golden Bow they should have given the same treatment to it that was given to Hasten Fatalis. Nerf the characters. No, that's not the solution. The solution is allowing items like Golden Bow to be melee only. But in the Warrior's case, it should be items like Mystical Mail. Things like this. That is very unfortunate, but things like warriors in games are widely hated. And YouTubers like Timtastic Toby of Double Tap Gaming have the nerve to make rants about ADCs. ADCs can be annoying, granted, but not half as annoying as a class, an entire class like warriors, that have the sole function of tanking anything you throw at them long enough to destroy you. And I just find it sad, really, that Hi-Rez allows that to happen. I don't see any real logical reason it's allowed to happen. It just is. Because, according to Ajax, it's ADCs that are the problem, not characters like this. I may be a bit biased against them, because my least favorite god is Ravan, or Ravana, if you don't want to be respectful. But it's because of the boxing potential and presence they have. Late game, they are tanky. Early game, they do damage. It's an entire character type based around early pressure and late game tankiness. Relevance in a team fight, which is not really fair to the rest of us. But relevance in the meta is what should really stand out to Hi-Rez, that these characters need a nerf. They have such a dominance right now that is not even contested. You can't contest it unless you're another warrior, or a direct counter to the character. Take Hercules, for example. He has early damage, extremely high survivability in late game team fights because of his mitigate wounds ability, and an ult that has the highest physical damage in the game. Just the highest physical damage ability in the game. That's what his ult is. They are just allowed to do extremely stupid things Like, there's so much they are allowed to tank. And so many characters they're allowed to just beat up like I did to Roth just there. I think Warriors as a class needs significant changes, nerfs, etc. They are not hard to play. I don't care what their difficulty rating is, they are not hard to play. And they have such a high payoff for needing so little skill. Like Bologna, her ult gives so many benefits for so long in such a wide radius. And she makes characters like Bakasura practically unplayable, to be honest. They are just... because of how hard she counters auto-based characters. Don't even get me started on their 1v1 duel potential, because being a player who plays duel, they have an extremely high win rate in 1v1s. Say what you will about no one caring about 1v1s, but we duel players do. And in Conquest, support Amaterasu is good. Solo lane, they shine. They should there. That is their role. But their ability to do well in the jungle and places like that seems incredibly unfounded to me. The reasoning for it, that is. They just seem like they are highly overperforming, yet they are not the ones receiving nerfs. But Ajax thinks ADCs are broken. Granted, their autos do a lot. Not like that's what the character's meant to do or anything. It's just that the high-res balancing community... Don't get me wrong, I love high-res. I love them to death. Could have done better on tribes, but that's besides the point. But they seem to disregard an entire character class that dominates just completely everything practically at this point. They, like Sun Wukong for example, my passive gives protections and power stacking up to a lot, while, like, you know, I get a bit stupid and lose a bit of health. Well, now I've got extra tools to fight you with. I don't agree with that. But most of the time, it takes multiple people to kill warriors. Like RTO. RTO got her nerfs. I believe RTO is close to being balanced right now. They need to stop focusing on RTO and focus a bit more on people like Sun Wukong and Ravana, say, I don't know, Bologna, Shock. Just the really consistently good, like people that don't fall out of the meta even when it changes, people that stay a constant presence and survive. Like Shock survived what most solo laners call the Deathwalker apocalypse for non-auto based characters. My best friend plays solo lane, and he plays Xingqian still in the solo lane. and he's really good at it. He survived the Deathwalker apocalypse, but it was hard on him. It's just difficult to fight them. And their stupidly high base damage is unreasonable, really. It's just really hard to fight, hard to play against, hard to counter build. They have a seemingly high presence that is very unnecessary to me. I don't see the need to give a character high base damage, high scaling, really high survivability, and relevance all game. I just don't see it necessary. I don't deem it logical. And I have a mentality that is from a very logical standpoint on most things. And the fact that my friend, Captain Sano, as he's known on Xbox, is really good at solo and able to consistently win lane against these broken characters. If you can win lane as a Guardian against a Warrior, it can depend on the matchup, but most of the time, that means you're a good player. He's able to outwit them, but a good Warrior player versus a good any other player will win 9 times out of 10. If they're equally good at the character they're playing, being a Warrior against any other type, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna win, because they have really good 1v1 presence, high sustain and survivability, and high damage. But their ability to survive and at the same time be relevant throughout the entire game is not necessary. They need nerfs. The items that make them exceedingly good need slight nerfs. But them as a type need more counter options in the function or role that they play. They need ways to be fought against, more options to combat them. We just need to see more abilities, characters, items, heck, better wards for all I care. Just something to hurt their performance enough for them to be equal with everybody else. Smite focuses on balance. Whether it does good or not is up to whoever is being asked, but they're widely considered not to be good at it. I think they do a fine job for the most part, but this type of crap is unacceptable. What the heck is this? Just their overall performance is extraordinary. As an entire type, they perform really well. I don't see the logic in that. But let me know your opinions, ideas, comments in the comment section down below. Tell me what you thought of this video. Do you think Warriors need nerfs, or for God's sake, Let's hope not. Do you think they need buffs? Let me know your opinions in the comment section below. And at this point, I'm repeating myself. So, Lord Void,